Hello everyone, welcome back to By Amara. This is a weekly news show where I discuss contemporary events in the art and history fields. I'm your host and personal curator, Amara Andrew. The format for the show that I typically follow, but I also typically don't follow, is one used by Western brides: something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. This week, we're going to have one something old, one something new, and one something borrowed/stolen. Ooh. This week we're going to be discussing an 11,000-year-old man holding his wiener, a slew of celebrities that are being sued alongside Bored Ape Yacht Club, and a slew of pre-Columbian artifacts that were successfully returned to Mexico. So we have all that and more coming up on this episode of By Amara. Let's get to it. This is normally the part of the show where I have updates. You will notice if you're watching the video version of this podcast, there's another chair and another microphone. And no, I'm not bringing my ghost best friend onto the show, even though that would actually be really cool. I have a special guest today. I thought it would be fun to kind of switch it up a little bit. So you'll not only hear my lovely, horrific voice, but you will actually hear the lovely voice of a Greek god, a Greek demigod. He is he is the man, the myth. Well, actually, first I should do a little introduction. I don't know how to introduce you. He is the co-founder of Spire, which is a branding agency here in Chicago. He is featured and a producer of the Netflix documentary Minimalism. And he is my live-in lover, Jeff Sarris. Come on down. I didn't get Price is Right music in time.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
You should come more this way. Oh, that's fine. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Okay, so like I said, this is normally the part of the show where I have updates, but now I have a human. And then, okay, so updates.
Well, first, thanks for having me. I appreciate the nice intro.
You're welcome. My Greek demigod live-in lover.
You ding dong.
He's like, wow, stop building it up so much. I could see the fear in his eyes as I was saying this stuff. He's like,
I don't know.
Anywho, yeah, so I just thought I would switch it up a little bit this week just to try it out. I don't know. If it works, cool. If not, then we might be breaking up. So yeah, we'll kick you out. Yeah, so we'll just get on to the show. So updates, normally I have some updates. I actually don't have any this week. Nothing has really happened for the news stories that I've talked about in previous episodes. But I mentioned, I think the episode before that, our couch was not finished because IKEA, for some godforsaken reason, was taking so long to ship us our cover. First world problems. But it's complete. We now have a sexy Chanel because it's sexy. And then we also have a new coffee table, and it's all Christmassy in here. I wish you could see the sides because there's just Christmas everywhere. This is like the least Christmassy side, and then there's like more Christmassy side, but whatever. You can see it. Oh, check out my social media like Instagram or TikTok, and you can see videos where I have all the Christmassy stuff in the background. It looks really pretty. Anyway, so that is my update for this week. I have a human here. We have a new couch and a coffee table. Yes, this is the human. And yeah, that's basically it. So anyway, on to the show. I'm glad I have somebody else to listen to the music with.
I wasn't informed of the appropriate dance for it, so I'll have to learn for next time.
It's interpretive. It's whatever you want.
Okay.
I went to art school, so everything's interpretive.
Interpretive analysis.
We're close.
I'm an art teacher.
I think he's mocking me. Well, this is going to go great.
I'm not mocking.
This will be the lost episode that never makes it out. Okay. So
this isn't the first time we've done a podcast together either.
No, we actually had one for a little bit when I still worked. Oh, God, I always hit my microphone with my face because I get so into it. We actually had a podcast for a little bit. It was Side Hustle Saturday, I think.
So we had our own podcast, Control F, and then
on
my show, starting now, we would do Side Hustle Saturday.
Yeah.
But now your side hustle is your front hustle. So we're gonna have to
front hustle.
We're gonna have to talk about Front Hustle Friday.
I don't think I like that.
It's not a side hustle. It's full time. That's all I mean. But carry on. You run your show. I'll just be here.
Okay, so our something old this week is going to be we're going to be talking about the oldest narrative scene we have in society ever in documented history is of a man holding his wiener. Yes, I said wiener.
What?
So this past week or the week before, it was sometime within the last couple of weeks, whatever. The stone 2-panel carving, I need to figure out where I'm going to put graphics actually. I think I'm going to put them right here maybe. I don't know. I'll
That's
figure
good.
it out in
I'll hold
post.
them.
Okay, so here's the slab. So apparently this stone 2-panel carving was discovered by archaeologists in Turkey in an 11,000-year-old complex. So like a situation of buildings in Cyberg. I'm so sorry. I don't know Turkish, so I don't know how to pronounce all the different accents. I'm guessing Cyberg, but I have no idea. Do you know?
No.
Excellent. So, this engraving of a man holding his wiener was found on benches that lined the walls in a communal area. So, this was literally a series of benches. It's the bench for your pension. Pensions. But it was seriously in a communal area, so it just would have been like out in the open. There's a lot of ancient dick art out there, which was like my favorite thing to learn when I was studying art history was just how many dicks there are. But anyway, that's my own personal love, I guess. So this guy holding his dick, though, wasn't the main focal point of this engraving. So like I said, there were 2 panels. Both panels, though, portray a person in the middle facing dangerous animals. So this is where the narrative scene comes into play. So on the left panel, we see a squatting male figure who holds something like a snake kind of in his hand, and he's going up against a bull. The right panel, with the man grabbing his schlong, leopards are approaching him from either side. And so in these panels, I'm painting you a word picture.
No, I'm picturing it.
So it's all just carved stone. So I'm saying panels, but Jesus, I keep hitting my face. So sorry. But the leopards in these panels, they have really sharp teeth, and the bull looks really ferocious, and it's supposed to be a very like scary kind of scene a little bit. So excavations of this site began in 2021 and have revealed that this entire area in Turkey was inhabited.
Inhabited. You got it. I think you have the Turkish accent down right there. So you need to stick with that one.
It's Turkish Midwestern. So excavations of this site began in 2021 and revealed that this area in Turkey was actually inhabited by a Neolithic population, which you'll find this interesting. So this specific population, there is evidence that it was transforming from that mobile hunter-gatherer ancient society to the more sedentary farming lifestyle. Because he's from that time period.
Speaking of old person holding their wiener.
This guy. You should see what he's doing with his other hand under the table. So this episode's not going to go very well.
But wait, one is holding a snake and the other is holding their...
Well, it's like a snake, like it's like a thing that looks like it might be a snake, but it's not really known exactly. Like we don't really know what this story is either, obviously, because I'm not there in Turkey. But archaeologists are still trying to figure out what the narrative scene is. So it's kind of believed it's like a before and after sort of scene of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But fun fact. So there are other older narrative scenes that do exist. Just want to put it out there. So there are the 17,000-year-old Lascaux cave paintings, if you've ever seen those. You've been to France. And then...
and my mom's last name. Maiden name was Laskowski. So basically all the same.
Yeah, totally the same. France, Poland, same thing.
Uh-huh.
So we have the 17,000-year-old Lascaux cave paintings and then a 44,000-year-old cave panel that was on the island of Sulawesi. But these Turkish panels, though, are believed by archaeologists to be the first known progression of a story narrative. So I think it's I was kind of trying to figure out what that meant. I don't know. I'm so sorry. But I think it's the guy was like scared. And then now he's like, I'm fearsome. Because like dicks in ancient art a lot of times were a show of masculinity and pride and virility and stuff like that. So like in ancient Rome, just dicks galore. So it was to be like, no, I'm like a big, strong guy.
Was that the one with the bull, or was the snake with the bull?
The snake and the bull go together. So the guy,
Yeah.
he's holding something. It might not be a snake, but I'm like, you're close. But it's something in his hand, but he's like squatting down.
Okay.
So I don't know. Do you know what it means?
It does feel like they're connected. Like connected in that, like, it's almost like a euphemism of sorts. Like it's alluding to his junk in the first one. And then in the second one, he is proudly holding his junk as the felines look on.
Yeah, see, I don't have junk, so I don't know, but I think it's in the DNA of the junk holders, so they know. You're the junk man. Jeff Junkman Sarris. This episode is not coming out. Like I said, we don't really know what this story is. I like his hypotenuse.
Right,
math
angels.
Jokes. Fucking nerds. Well, you are on an art history podcast. Anyway, but it's believed that this could be a Why am I having trouble? I thought you were going to say something. But this could be a historical or a mythical story of the region's traditions even. So when they know, I will let you know because I'm very curious why this guy's holding his dick. As things progress, they'll find more scenes probably on these benches. But for now, we just know that there's a man holding his wiener.
Doodle-doodle-doo. Doodle-doodle-doo. Doodle-doodle-doo.
Yeah, actually, here,
Doodle-doodle-doo.
you sing our music.
Doodle-doo. I don't remember how.
So our something new this week, there are a whole slew of celebrities that are part of a new lawsuit against Yuga Labs, who's the parent company of Bored Ape Yacht Club. So this story is actually mostly why I have this guy on. He's a computer man and NFT
I'm
connoisseur.
the junk man and the computer man.
He's the man. So I thought you would find this very interesting. Instead of telling him in person, we are in person. Hologram. Instead of just telling him over dinner, I was like, I'll just have him here so that I kill two birds with one stone.
If you find me killed by a stone, you know what happened.
Or a wiener man. Cheers are squeaky. Anyway, so this lawsuit was This lawsuit was filed by, this is like a wild name, Adonis Real or Real. You kind of barely fit in frame, I just realized.
I was wondering, I think I'm there. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, cool. So this lawsuit was filed by Adonis Real and Adam Titcher, and they state that they purchased Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs only after they saw the endorsement of influential celebrities who they say inflated the value of these NFTs. Basically what I heard was, I'm naive and I have buyer's remorse. That was just me. I know it's a very harsh take, but I kind of don't care because it's like, well, I bought a bunch of shit off Amazon, but I didn't blame the people for selling it to me. I didn't blame the influencers. I was like, well, no, it was my responsibility. But how do you feel about responsibility like that?
So how did you say that? They're suing them for what? Can you say it one more time?
This is my own paraphrasing of what I read, but they purchased NFTs. They purchased Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs only after they saw the endorsement of influential celebrities who they say inflated the value of the NFTs.
Yeah, so it's the perceived value that this would return them money and make them a lot of money, which was the problem with NFTs. And
yeah, and it still is.
Yeah, it's why everything sort of went kaboom recently this year. Because there were lots of promises that, like, some people made a ton of money, and then, like, everyone's going to make a lot of money, and we're all going to make it, and all these things that everyone was saying, but just couldn't be true.
Right.
Like, I think everyone can win when it comes to life and success, but when it is something as like concrete as buying something, selling it for more, eventually someone is going to pay the most, and no one is going to be left to buy it because there aren't unlimited funds. So it's tough because it is a buyer's remorse, like you said. It's something that's difficult to it feels like it would be difficult to sue over. I understand disappointment on their part.
Yeah.
But at the same time...
Well, let me tell you the rest of it then, too.
Keep going.
Because, yes, and here's more. Okay, so they're complaining that it was celebrities who did the whole thing, but here is also where more of the story comes in.
And they're suing Yuga, not the celebrities, or everyone?
So they list Yuga as well as a bunch of celebrities, which I'm going to tell you who in a minute.
Okay.
So they list like 100 people in the actual court document. It's like fucking wild. It's so big. It's like a whole paragraph of people. And it's in all caps, so it's like, you're yelling at me. In their complaint, they specifically blame Hollywood talent manager Guy Oseary, who represents a bunch of different celebrities like Madonna, U2, and the newly signed Bored Ape Yacht Club. Yeah, so this is through his company Maverick. I think he's now not affiliated with it anymore. I think he stepped down, so he's the ex-head of Maverick. So he also, though, represents MoonPay. Here's where it gets weirder, which is a crypto trading app. I'd never heard of it. Had you heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never used it. I don't know
This
too
is why I
much
have
about
him
it,
here.
but yeah, I know of it.
Okay. So, well, you'll learn a little bit now. So the plaintiffs, so the people who are doing the suing, allege that Yuga Labs conspired with Oseary to get celebrities to promote Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs, while also hiding that these celebrities were receiving any compensation for their promotion. So the complaint reads, quote, "The manufactured celebrity endorsements and misleading promotions were able to artificially increase the interest in and price of the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs, causing investors to purchase these, losing investments at drastically inflated prices." So they also have one piece of evidence, which was really interesting. There's a scene from Post Malone's 2021 music video for One Right Now, where Post is seen buying a Bored Ape using the MoonPay app, and then the musician The Weeknd is also there. So MoonPay apparently shared this clip on Twitter with the caption, "This just happened."
So is Post Malone under the same Maverick? Do you know?
That I don't know.
But I would posit to say that probably.
Yes.
And it makes me wonder if Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton and sort of the key players in the celebrity world that bought them and made it something.
So I'm glad you say them, because some of the celebrities that were listed in the complaint are Madonna, Paris Hilton, Jimmy Fallon, Justin Bieber, Gwyneth Paltrow, Serena Williams, Snoop, which they list him as his birth name, Calvin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I read it and I was like, who the fuck is this? And then I was like, oh my God, it's Snoop. Kevin Hart, Steph Curry, and Khalid, who's a rapper, among other celebrities in there. So the two plaintiffs' lawyers allege that the video clip is evidence that there is evidence on the blockchain that Post actually got transferred $1.4 million worth of ETH, which they claim is evidence that he was paid for his promotion of Bored Ape Yacht Club in this music video.
Well, and it's so weird because it could even be indirectly.
Yes.
So if it wasn't, when they're all under the same umbrella, that's very suspect, because it could be advice within that little community, that little group of like, oh, you're part of my crew. Like, did you say talent agent? What was it? Okay. So part of this, I'm going to let everyone know this is valuable. So-and-so just bought it, who happens to also be under the same umbrella. So-and-so is buying one. You probably want to get on. So it's like, from a pure human side of things, it's just like, it could be looked at as telling friends.
Right.
But when you're all part of the same business, and the people who can benefit most, the company who can benefit most from a pump, say, of value, is also under the same umbrella, that's when things do get very, very touch and go.
But yeah, that's what was interesting, is reading the intro to it before, I was like, oh, these fucking idiots. But then when you get the celebrity mixed in with stuff, that's when things always get a little weird, because it's like, well, they are celebrities and you do have to be careful with your celebrity and everything you have. But then I don't know.
Well, also disclosure in NFTs and crypto
is non-existent.
Huge issue, because like anyone who's been building a business.
Which is ironic, because on the blockchain you can see every single transaction, but not the partnerships and things like that. Yeah,
but you can track it and see where the money came from, where it originated, where it went to. And that's the thing, is like anyone who's built a business, anyone who is a blogger, affiliate marketer, all these things for any substantial period of time.
In this episode, at the bottom of the description on YouTube, you will see my
Yeah, there's affiliate links and a disclosure that Amara will make a small amount of money at no cost to you if you click those links and buy the products.
love you.
But like that's a way to support people and their work and everything. But as soon as you're not disclosing that, and you're not, which no one in Web3 and crypto seemed to in NFTs and stuff,
Yeah.
which was a major problem. So I'm not surprised, but it's disappointing because it's very clear that they
it
needed
could have
to.
been a really good thing, and then it only took like 3 people, mostly just Bored Ape, to fuck everything up in many ways. Like, that's my viewpoint on it. I know we have very different viewpoints on things, especially AI art, which we'll talk about that at another time because that has been a hot topic in our household.
Well, yeah, like Bored Ape gave people a lot of money, which is nice. I'm trying to see if I can move this to my lap, see how it works. They essentially printed money for the whole year, so people loved it. They're like,
and they did talk about ApeCoin also in their complaint, which I didn't elaborate on that, but that was a whole scam. But I'm going to keep this brief.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so they were essentially printing money for people, and then as soon as you have celebrities and people who have a lot of money also getting on board, it can mislead uninformed people. And that's not, I don't say that as a negative towards the people who don't know, but you don't know what you don't know. And if you're like, Paris Hilton bought a Bored Ape, she spent so much money, I should spend my life savings on one because it's going to make me a lot of money too.
And I know people who do that, who are like, oh, Paris Hilton did this, you should do that, which is very sweet and very lovely, but you gotta think for yourself. And like, that was the whole thing in the Bored Ape community, or Bored Ape, just NFT community, where it was do your own research, which I think is a really shitty expression, but I like the idea of it, where it's well, you have to be very, very careful, because it's just like with anything. You don't just walk down the street because you're like, oh, whatever, I'll be fine. It's like, no, you don't walk down the street, like in the street, because a bus, a car, a goat can come get you wherever you live. So
so that's
Michael Jordan come running down.
There you go. Glad you didn't say Tom Brady. Ugh.
That bitch. No.
Oh, jeez. Whoa.
Giselle could do a lot better.
I'm coming in hot on this mic. Sorry. So just for devil's avocado, real quick.
He really wanted to use that.
I do think Bored Ape, that's it's not cool. It's not cool to mislead people in that way.
Yes.
But at the same time, to assume that you're buying any collectible and it's on the collectible creator to give it value so you make more money is also a very odd, very NFT specific thing. Because if I buy a pack of sports cards, I am not then opening it, getting a bunch of duds. No Tom Brady's, no Michael Jordans. But I don't open a pack, get a bunch of duds, and then assume, oh, Panini made these cards. They need to make these more valuable.
Not the Sandwich, the card manufacturer.
Yeah. But like just to buy anything and assume that the creator of that Pokemon should be making what I purchased more valuable when it's a collectible is also just a wrong way to look at it.
It's like gambling. It's like, I don't gamble because I'm like, oh, this is going to be a surefire thing. It's like you're buying in, like, because NFTs are now possibly going to be considered like stocks or
securities.
There you go.
Investments that need to be regulated.
Yes. So yeah, you don't buy into some like jumping everywhere, but yes.
Well, no, yeah, it's just an odd precarious spot because I can see it from both parties.
Yes.
Where it's on the buyer, but it's also on the seller when they mislead people.
Yeah. When they don't disclose everything, then it is like, oh, that actually is like gross. Like, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it personally if they did disclose it, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, Paris Hilton got paid for it. That makes sense. But then,
and it usually doesn't even change anything if you know that someone got paid for something or you don't.
Okay, I'm still gonna get this then. Like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So like,
it's just weird to not do that.
Yeah, which is the inexperience in the space.
Yeah, fucking idiots. All right, moving along. Our something borrowed / stolen this week is yet another successful case of repatriation. Yay!
I thought you were going to say I stole your heart, but whatever.
Yes. So I need to tell you about this man. No. This demigod. Sorry, I sold it so big.
I can say I think that is the only time I have ever and will ever be introduced like that. So thank you.
Always get a historian to introduce you because they will find all of the perfect adjectives. Anyway, so our something borrowed / stolen this week. So like I said, successful case of repatriation. This time though, we're talking about the Netherlands and Mexico. So this past week, the Netherlands returned 223 pre-Hispanic and pre-Columbian artifacts to Mexico. These items that were returned to the INAH, which I'm going to call it by that acronym from now on, but it's the Instituto Nacional de Antropología y Historia. So apologies for mispronunciation, as always. So the INAH oversees all of these different matters around the world, and they keep tabs on things and try to get stuff back to Mexico. So the items that were returned from the Netherlands span the time periods of the Mesoamerican Preclassic period. So that's like 13th century BCE, the like latest, earliest. I always get confused on my BCEs and CEs, so apologies. Just 13th century BCE, all the way to the post-classic period, so roughly the 16th century CE. So that's a big fucking chunk of change. That's a huge time span. And these items are also from a wide range of area in Mexico, and a wide range of cultures. So in the east, the Central Highlands, the Gulf of Mexico, and the southeast region as well. The return of these items is part of a larger issue where pre-Hispanic and pre-Columbian artifacts are being illicitly trafficked around the world. I did not know that. I had heard about this before in grad school just because I had a professor who specialized in Mesoamerican art, but I had no idea that this was such a big issue, like around the globe. And since these items are cultural and archaeological property of Mexico, all these pieces fall under the federal law on archaeological, artistic, and historical monuments and areas, which is to protect these places and objects, which I talked about in a previous episode. I forget which number, but the asshole in Miami that could be a lot of people. The asshole in Miami that set a Frida Kahlo artwork on fire, he's still being investigated, I assume, I hope, or it's probably getting brushed under the rug, but he lit a Frida Kahlo piece on fire to make an NFT project, speaking of NFTs. So those are the bad people of NFTs. So that law is to protect all of these objects. Since 2018, there's been an even higher focus on having all of these items returned to Mexico because of Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez and his administration launched the hashtag Mi Patrimonio no se vende movement, which is just my heritage is not for sale. Sorry for all the mispronunciations. So this movement was to discourage people from buying and selling all these different artifacts and encourage people to actually celebrate and like hold these items with pride and value and not be like, oh, I'm just going to sell it because I can make a quick buck. To date, this movement, so in 4 years, they have assisted in the return of nearly 9,000 artifacts worldwide. Not Mr. Worldwide, but worldwide. He's not from Mexico. Sadly, though, in November, the INAH, so this organization from Mexico, they also tried to stop an auction in Paris that was selling 60 pre-Columbian archaeological artifacts by citing this law that prohibits the export of Mexican objects around the world because they have like cultural or archaeological importance. They weren't able to do that, and I believe the things were still sold because this was outside of Mexico, so they couldn't control what happened, which is why the guy was just able to incinerate stuff in Miami for fun. So I like the idea of the law. I wish it could go international, but I know international law is like not possible. It'd be kind of cool. Yeah, so
I do have a question. It's
God.
A very no. It's only a terminology. What does pre-Hispanic mean?
I don't know. No. So pre-Hispanic is before Spanish conquistadors invaded the land and territory. So it's like pre-Columbian, so pre-Columbus. It's kind of similar, plus or minus like a couple hundred years. So it's just before any sort of European colonization of the area are the artifacts. So before any sort of European influence came through and just changed everything and changed culture and dress and methods of production and stuff like that. So that's what it means. So it's before any sort of European influence, which is what makes it even cooler because then it's like, oh, this is actually like authentic to this group and this culture for thousands of years, presumably. So this is how they were doing things for forever. So it's like our closest tie back to ancient times in this place or in this part of land or something. So yeah, the end.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I've never heard pre-Hispanic, and I just had no idea what that meant.
Now you know.
Well, thank you. Never stop creating.
Wait, I need to do my outro music.
I was just being so.
All right, so that'll do it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you, Mr. Sarris, for being here on the podcast.
Yup.
I hope you had fun.
I hope I didn't throw you off too much. I know I did, but
it's just weird having another human here because I'm so used to talking to you intimately, but now I have like a little friend group hug.
Is this air hug? Oh.
So with that, we'll see if we do this ever again. Probably not. I'll see how this goes when I edit this.
Oh, we'll be podcasting more.
We'll see. So if you like this video, make sure you like it and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this episode. If not, I'm so sorry, and we'll see how this goes. But yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
So I'm Amara Andrew. This is Jeff Sarris, and never stop creating. Oops, I turned that off a little too quick.
Yeah, that was a quick ending.
Yeah, my bad.
Oh.
Anywho, all right, food.
Sure. What we all eating?
What do you want for dinner? Ooh, good idea. Okay, we'll do that.
I didn't hear you.